Hey, hello and welcome to the Strange and Wonderful. I'm Michael Zinn. I am the wonderful part of Strange and Wonderful. Sounds kind of weird to say that without the strange part here. But Courtney is resetting her computer, and I actually just realized that I forgot to turn off my air conditioner. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but let me go turn that off real quick so that there's no external noise. What's up, and welcome to everybody, by the way, if you are out there in Strange and Wonderful Land. All right, I am back, and that was me turning off my air conditioning unit so that I can talk to you guys. And let me brighten my screen a little bit here, fix my hair a little bit as I wait for Courtney to arrive. I'll adjust my screen, and there we go. Now we are talking. So, welcome to the Strange and Wonderful. I forget what episode this is. It's like number 16 or something like that. We've been doing this for a while. Um, it's a pretty cool show that my co-host Courtney came up with. She calls me her co-host. I call her my co-host. We're co-hosts together. Um, but she came up with this amazing idea to talk to people who she considers strange and wonderful, and I guess most people would consider strange, and some people would consider wonderful. We consider them wonderful here because this is the strange and wonderful, and I think we believe that everybody is wonderful in their own way, and the stranger the better. I think here on this show, it seems. Um, so yeah, I'm excited about the way the show is going. I think that uh, it's really expanded my mind a bit. Talking to the Lizard Man, somebody you've seen on Ripley's Believe It or Not, and I've seen him actually at tattoo conventions in person, and you would have no idea about what their personalities are like, and it seems like the stranger they are, the more wonderful they are. It's like uh, I guess I can say, like in the case of the Lizard Man, I had this intuition that he was living very intentionally. Like he had a very specific idea of what he wanted to do, what he wanted to look like, and he did it, and he didn't care what people thought. And a lot of people were like, "Why would you do that to yourself? You're cutting off. Uh, half of the population doesn't even want to talk to you." And I'm like, maybe he doesn't want to talk to half of the population, especially the half of the population that would be so judgmental. So he's kind of I, to me, I was like, wow, this is brilliant, and I kind of intuitively felt like that's what he was doing. And when we spoke to him, that's what he said. It was very intentional. He was a sideshow performer, and he kind of was inspired to kind of go in this direction, and he became the Lizard Man, and he will go down in sideshow history. He's the first kind of guy to commit to that level, and just really knock it out of the park. He was just amazing to talk to. So those are the kinds of conversations that we have here on the Strange and Wonderful. I do see that our guest popped into the green room, so he's ready to go. I don't see Courtney yet. I'm going to give her another minute or two to get here before I bring him on. I'm excited to talk to him. I don't know much about him, other than the bunch of photos that I was sent, and a little blurb, bio, and I'm super excited to talk to him. Again, the conversations that I have here at the Strange and Wonderful are just mind blowing. You get to know some really very cool people who just kind of have some really cool ideas about existence and how they want to handle it, and it's great. I love the platform that we have going here. Um, anyway, so I don't know who's out there today. Why don't you just say you're here? You could say hello. Don't be shy. This is the Strange and Wonderful after all. I love it when you guys interact with us and say hello and kind of ask questions with the guests and all of that stuff. So I want you to do that. But again, um, this has been my one of my happy places. Wednesday I do this broadcast, and Thursday I do a broadcast called the Live Stream of Consciousness, which is a little bit more spirituality based. And it's also great. I have some great guests. So I see I have my old friend Jessica Kalushkin out there saying hello. What's up, Jessica? Welcome to the Strange and Wonderful. You are about to embark on a journey that will be very memorable for you, because we have these amazing conversations, and I think we're about to have one of those. So I'm gonna let Courtney pop in when she gets here. I know she panicked. She texted me just 15 minutes ago saying her computer was updating and she didn't know if she was going to make it on time, so she's probably just waiting for her computer to finish updating. So I'm going to let her just not stress out. If she's watching on her phone, don't worry about it, because our guest is here. So I'm going to introduce him. Michael, I don't know much about you because I just got your photos and a little bit of a bio, but Stefan is out there. What's up? Welcome to the Strange and Wonderful. Welcome back, I should say. Welcome home. Um, but I'm just going to go ahead and introduce him, because he's here in the back room, and he is definitely strange and wonderful. And I'm going to let him tell you all about himself, and I'm going to learn with you. So welcome to the show, Michael Doolen. Hey there.
Hey, Michael, how you doing? I'm so pleased to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. We are pleased to have you. This is
My camera lined up.
your camera looks great. I can see you. You look awesome. Um,
Thank you.
if you want to stand over there and talk to me from back there that whole
Well,
time,
I'll
that's
probably sit down on this chair here pretty soon.
okay. Cool, cool. I would. Do you know if your phone will rotate if you turn it sideways? To fill up my screen a little bit
Sideways?
more. Yeah.
Or you want to see me sideways?
No, I don't. I want you to take your phone and just turn it horizontal instead of vertical.
Horizontal. Oh, all right. Okay.
Do you know if it'll flip and give me
Yeah,
a
I can make that happen. Sure.
yeah, because it's
I'm an old timer, but I'm not totally ignorant on there. First, I got to unlock that thing,
okay, cool. So
so it's not, portrait orientation locked and stuff.
all right,
All right,
awesome.
now I got to fiddle with the tripod for a minute.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
All
Now,
right. I'm
awesome.
not going to fit as well as you might think once I get. Where's my chair? Oh, there it is. All right. All right. Let's see how that works.
We'll see. Well, yeah, you're probably gonna have to sit down at this point, uh,
Yeah.
if you don't mind. But I just like filling up the screen better. I'm just a fan. I don't like
How's that?
the letter. Awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I
Yeah.
love it. I
You
love
need
it.
shoes?
Very good. Beautiful, beautiful. So, welcome to the Strange and Wonderful. As I said, Courtney is kind of getting her computer together.
Okay.
I don't know if you are friends with Courtney or if you know her before. She's been actually reaching out and kind of
No,
getting people.
I had not been. She found me on social media, which I'm on every day. So she tripped over me and asked me if I'd like to, come on.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Courtney, she's strange and wonderful herself. She has a girlfriend who is a synthetic doll, and she came to me as a viewer of the live stream of consciousness, and we became friends. And when she told me about herself and about this idea she had, um, it really struck me how I responded, because I was like so non-judgmental about what she was telling me, and it was so cool to just feel like this unconditional love for her. And I thought the idea was amazing. She wanted to bring people who don't live a conventional life onto the show, and just talk to them about their who they are and how they got there and all of that stuff. And man, it's been such a fascinating journey, talking to some amazing people. Just seeing your photos, I have a feeling, it's going to continue in that direction, that you're living very intentionally.
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
there's a lot of power in that. And there's like a crossover between the live stream of consciousness and this show, because it's all about energy, and the energy exchange that you have with everything around you. And the people that we talk to, like you, like this moment looking at you on the screen, you know what I mean, and the effect that I can't imagine that you wouldn't have, just being you you
Oh, it is
know
intentional. Oh, it's absolutely intentional, and there's some deep motives I'll talk about a little bit.
Awesome. I'm super excited for it. And,
Cool.
again, I feel like, the energy output from, somebody like you is just, it's undeniable. And I think a lot of people, and I'm sure you know this, they kind of don't know how to react to it. So they're kind of like, oh, that's just too much for me. And they just shut off. But,
Interestingly enough, most of the people I run into, both on social media and in public, are intrigued, curious, and inspired to a certain extent. So
that's
I'll get into that.
wonderful.
I'll get into that.
That's awesome to hear. That I'm certainly a believer in the creative spirit of humanity, and that's where we'll be saved. So, maybe you're a living testament to that, which is
Well,
pretty cool.
human diversity is everything. Without it, we don't have anything. We
Yeah,
have chaos.
totally. So, for anybody that might be confused, or might be needing some sort of definition,
Everybody
can
needs, yeah, everybody needs that, and I will get into that. I will definitely, um, let you know what you're looking at.
Okay, well, you know what? And I totally want you to, because that's what I love about this show, and what it's brought out in me is I already love you, man. I don't need a definition. I feel like
Well,
I,
yeah, everybody does so. It's not necessarily because you need it, but because you're curious, and the fact that you're curious is a positive thing. That's great.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So I didn't know the also known as Doc Bubbles. I hadn't seen that nickname of
Well,
yours,
I'll,
but
I'll explain that. Yeah.
yeah, let's go. Let's hear the story. Let's
All
hear
right.
who you are, and
All right.
what you're all about.
All right. Well, first of all, I've been 16 years old for 53 years, and every trip around the sun, I learn a little more and I get a little wiser. Uh, when I was a kid, I grew up on a horse ranch in Montana. My granddaddy, a wise old Montana cowboy, said rule number one is that you can do anything and be anything in life that you want, long as nobody gets hurt and it makes you happy. My
Well,
mom, bless her heart, gave me rule number two, which is that humans are a diverse thing. If you don't love them all, you don't love any of them.
mm,
And she was determined to educate me in a lot of ways. She was an artist, she was a musician.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
So she made sure that I had a good foundation in those things. When I started into first grade, she told me that I needed to learn to play a musical instrument. So pick one. So I'd been watching Benny Goodman on TV, so I picked out the clarinet. So
mhm, mhm, mhm.
from first grade up through high school, I had clarinet lessons and then sax lessons. I was in a high school band and the whole thing. And So, but back to, more of a definition, which again, I'm the first to know that to see this walking down the mall is going to make people curious. It's
Right.
going to make some people upset. But, so here it is. I'm androgynous. In other words, like David Bowie, like Prince.
Hey, welcome, Courtney. Sorry to interrupt. Courtney's back. Her computer's updated.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Hi,
I'm
Courtney.
sorry. Hi, Michael and
Hi.
Michael. We got two Michaels. Hi.
Yeah.
What's up, Courtney? What's up,
Oh,
Dahlia?
nothing much. I just got here. My computer decided to be an ass today.
So let's Michael was. I just want to go with. He was right in the middle of his flow.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, it's all good. We were waiting
That's all
for
right.
you.
I can pick it up.
Yeah, we were waiting for you. So he was telling us exactly what we're looking at and how he got to be who he is. And he just used the big word androgynous. So let's hear what's that definition of that and how
Well,
you.
it took a lot of years for me to understand that. I have to tell you, when I was 8, 9 years old, I used to try on my mom's dresses and didn't think she knew, what I was up to. I didn't know why. It just seemed like it was something fun to do. It was not a sexual thing. When I hit puberty, I was girl crazy as any other guy. And I had a lot of guy friends, but I wasn't sexually attracted to them. So I was confused as hell until David Bowie came around. And then I learned about androgyny, which is just simply a blend. And just for, purpose of definition, I identify as a male,
Mhm.
but I am what like to think of as gender nonconforming. I don't think that it's fair, and I will rebel against any societal standards that say that so-called women's clothing
Mhm.
is strictly for women. I I like it. I like dressing up and being fancy. I like women's apparel, you know, and so that's really the extent of it. And
Right.
so, anyway, kind of back to my original story a little bit.
Hmm. Hmm.
Again, grew up on a horse ranch. Got to be friends with a lot of American Indians that worked on the ranch and were around Montana, and learned about human diversity pretty much initially through my association with them. Learned a ton from them, not only about American Indian life, but also about human diversity. That's a huge thing for me. I have always found it really distasteful when I see and hear bigotry or that sort of thing. It just really bothers me a lot. And
Hmm.
so anyway, as a young kid, I did a lot of stuff. There's countless events in my life that should have probably killed me. And so now, after having gone through all of that and survived, my mom always said everything happens for a reason. Okay,
Right.
mom, what's the reason? Why am I alive? And part of that is to tell my story. And so
Sure.
back to that, I did a lot of things as a young man. I sold encyclopedias and hope chests and accordions door to door. I worked as an apprentice mechanic at a construction equipment dealership. I worked as a Volkswagen mechanic. I owned a photo studio for 10 years and did a lot of portraits and
Wow.
portfolios for dancers and models and that sort of thing. And
Very
then
cool.
late Katie, no, my late Nancy, sorry. I've had two wives that I've lost to cancer. The first one was
Oh,
Nancy. And she drugged me kicking and screaming back to school, and I became a veterinarian, which is what I wanted to be since I was that tall. So I did that, became a veterinarian, became an exotics, even an exotics veterinarian, and I had a wonderful 30 plus year career doing that.
wow.
So then a few years ago, I retired from that. Circumstances are much too much of a story for this, for this time period. But, nevertheless, I got to thinking, well, okay, now what? Am I going to sit on the porch on a rocking chair and wait to die? No,
Uh-huh.
of
Uh-huh.
course not. I'm, I'm going to start back to my roots, which is art and music.
Right.
Um, so when I was in high school, I told your mom really was very supportive of me. I had long hair in high school. Back in Montana in those days, that was against the rules. My high school had a rule: no boys have hair below their shoulder or below their collar.
Wow.
They tried to get her to force me to cut my hair, and she refused to force me to cut my hair. But her priority was to get me through high school, so she bought me a short hair wig. That got me through high school.
Wow.
During high school, I asked her if she minded if I would quit band so I'd have time for another part time job so I could buy a guitar so I could start a little band and, attract the girls and that kind of thing. And so she said, no, you stay in the band. I'll buy you a guitar. So she did. She bought me a Sears Silvertone guitar, electric guitar, little amp in the case and the whole 9 yards. So, we made a little garage band, won a battle of the bands, had a good time, and, attracted a couple of girls. And so, that's kind of been how I got started. I'm not going to get deeply involved in, my late wives, my late loves, and so forth. But, that came and went. Again, 25 years with one, 5 years with another. But now I'm pretty much, with the exception of my wingman, King Klaus, the kitty that has made himself scarce. I'm pretty much on my own. And
Right.
my, even though I spent 30 years helping people with their pets, and that's, that's great and everything. That's something that, I know that, survives me a little bit, but I am working on this autobiography because there's so many stories, and that's what it is. It's just a book of stories, stuff that
Right.
could have killed me, stuff that, I learned a lot from, stuff that I did stupid that I learned from,
Right.
the whole thing, and it's just, so I started on social media, mostly Facebook, but also Instagram and TikTok. And so every day I post something and I tell a lot of little stories. And all those little stories here fairly soon are going to turn up as my autobiography. So,
Wow. Very
so
cool.
that's kind of what I'm all about. I love going out and about. I get so much feedback from people on social media and in person about how they are inspired by seeing a human that has the courage to walk down
So
the
free. Yeah.
hall,
Yeah. Yeah. You're free. You're free, man. It's
not really
obvious.
caring if anybody doesn't like it. I mean,
Yeah.
you'll never win an argument with certain people, and that's fine. I, don't have the energy for that. But
Right.
fortunately, 99% of the people I run into in public they smile back. They often start conversations. A couple of short little stories, maybe. I was standing in line in a Starbucks with a very short mini to get a cappuccino, and the guy in back of me was a middle-aged, 30 something, maybe, or whatever, man in a very sharp suit, very, very tailored looking guy. And so we're standing there, and he looks at me and he says, in a very friendly way, do you dress like that every day? And I said, well, yeah, pretty much, but I've got a date with a girlfriend today. So, and he thought that was amusing. And we ended up chatting for probably 10, 15 minutes about this, that, and the other thing. And turns out he's a Miami detective up here to New Jersey to visit his sick mother. We had a nice chat about gun control and about this, that, and the other thing. Anyway, he ended up buying my cappuccino for me and giving me his information and insisting that if I get to Miami, I must call him so that he and his wife can take me out to dinner.
Wow.
So, very unexpected kinds of things. I also love interactions with parents with their kids, because kids have no filter, which is cool. I love that. All right. So I'm in Goodwill. I shop at Goodwill a lot. I've got over 3,000 garments, most of which came from Goodwill.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an interesting hobby, but so mom is going by with her shopping cart. She's got about a 5-year-old little boy walking along, and he stops and looks up at me and he says, "Mommy, that man's wearing a skirt or a dress." And immediately she's embarrassed and she leans down and says, she said, she shushed him. She said, "Shh, that's not nice." And I immediately got down on my knee, looked him right in the eye, and I said, "You're absolutely right. I do. And guess what? When you grow up, you'll be able to dress however you want also. Won't that be fun?" And he goes, "Yeah!" And mom is like, all relieved. She goes, "Thank you." And so we had a little chat, and, the day went on. So that's kind of when I go out and about. Yeah, I get a few hecklers. I was in line once at Target. Guy behind me said, "It ain't Halloween yet." And I turned around and looked at him with a smile and said, "I guess you didn't get that memo either, huh?" About that time, his wife started cracking up along with everybody else that was standing nearby.
That's
And
hysterical.
wouldn't you know, a little later on in Target, he went out of his way to find me, come up and apologize. So,
Wow.
and the thing is, I've had psychology. I've had 9 credit hours of psych in school. It's a
Yeah.
class that interests me, right? So
Yeah.
I know full well that the jokers are those that have insecure feelings about themselves and they want to make sure that the world knows that they're not one of those, you
Right.
know.
Right.
You know, and so, you know,
Right.
I can't get mad at that. I can maybe, in, you know, here and there help people to understand that, I guess.
Right. Well, you're the antithesis of that. You're kind of like, I'm so confident with myself that I could put on
Well,
anything
and you
and
know, interestingly
rock it.
enough, that can lead to problems too. I mean, life's yin and yang. Yes, you know,
Sure.
life's
Yeah.
positive, negative. I have a number of, you know, close friends that are worried about me, you know, because I'm kind of a target, if you know what I mean, you know. But
Right.
I, you know, I at this age, I have completely lost all fear.
Right.
I've replaced it with caution.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
there's a
think
difference
also,
between fearful and being cautious. I'm
sure.
prepared. I'm a good little Boy Scout.
Sure.
I carry a couple things. I have some skills that I've learned, etc.
Right.
Plus, at this age, if somebody gets the best of me, you know, okay. All I hope for is that at that point, I have done what I want to do for the world.
Right. And it seems that you have already, you know what I mean? And you live that. You actually are that, you know what I mean? And that's what's so cool. So I have a couple of questions. That was awesome.
That's what I
That was
love
awesome.
about outside. Because obviously, this is why I love about you, because you just don't care what people think, and I'm like, yes, I would
Well, I
dress
kind of do
like
because I
that.
want them
I
to
found
understand that, you know,
someone like me.
So I told you
So
that, you know, Mom instilled some music in me, and just for her, you know, I'm going to have to take up another couple of minutes if you don't mind, you know.
no. Go ahead. This is
All right.
your time.
All right.
Nice.
Come on.
A little farm boy coming out. I love it.
Oh,
Awesome.
well, you know, I'm a big
Love
music fan
it.
of all genre, you know,
Yeah.
and I play the guitar. I had a client, you know, I've got lots of clients that are kind of when I retired came out of the woodwork, frankly, because, you know, they appreciated what I did for them over the years for their pets.
Mhm.
And one of them bought me a brand new Fender Stratocaster because
Nice.
that's what I was lusting for, you know,
Nice.
and they give me jewelry, they give me clothes, they give me all kinds of
Love
things.
it.
And appreciation for my willingness to expose myself to the world because they can see
Yeah.
what's been shown to me to be, you know, I think
Yeah.
a valuable lesson for a lot. I can't tell you how many comments I get on social media.
Oh, I can imagine.
You
You're
know,
yeah.
God, I'm
You're
so glad to see you. You know,
yeah.
I'm, you know, when I'm out and about, I had a guy the other day, you know, an older man dressed up in bib overalls, looked like a pipe fitter, walked up to me and he's like, got a kind of a wow expression on his face. And he thanked me. He said, I want to thank you
Yeah, man.
because I have not had the courage to do what you do. I have a skirt at home. I've just been dying to put on and wear out, but I've been scared to. Seriously, I
That
saw a guy
that's
about a week
amazing.
ago
That's
wearing
awesome.
a skirt.
That's amazing. Listen, so Michael, the you brought up a bunch of really amazing things. The first thing that you brought up that I thought was important was, and you didn't really say it, but the very distinct difference between gender and sexuality.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely. Two
you
different,
know,
totally two different things, and that's what people don't get. And
right,
that's why I'm tolerant, because you know, as you're walking along, the uneducated are going to see me, and the first words out of their mouth are, "Is he gay? Is he trans?"
right,
Now, I will never say what I'm not. Have always been very LGBTQ plus friendly. In fact, I think I'm either one of the Qs or one of the pluses. I'm not sure which, but the point is that I think it's useful for people to get the information that gives them an excuse or a motivation to accept.
right,
All
right,
right. You know, everybody loves
totally,
David Bowie. Everybody loves
right,
Prince. You know, so that's a
right,
good starting point. You know, but when I say, you know, I've been, you know, on TikTok, my handle is Girl Crazy 42. Okay.
right,
And so I don't make a point. If somebody says, "Are you gay?" I do not say no. I
right,
say,
right,
I am androgynous and I
right,
like girls. Okay.
right.
You know,
It's all you need to say.
question,
You don't even. It's none of their
question.
business. Yeah, yeah. But and that's perfect. And I think for me, and I'm just absorbing you and responding to you, is that you're very non-threatening. You say, you're not afraid, that someone's going to hurt you. 99% of the people that you meet are positively reacting to you, and I think that's because it's very obvious you're coming from a place of love. You're not coming from, you're not
Peace
trying
and
to.
love, brother. Peace
Yeah,
and love.
absolutely. You're not trying to incite somebody.
No.
You're trying to feel good, and it's obvious. It's obvious you're trying to do you and not trying to like make people shocked or do. You're not trying to do anything
Oh,
to
there's a certain
anybody else. You know
right.
what I mean?
I will admit to being a little bit of an exhibitionist, a little bit of a flop, but that's just part of my personality. It always has been, and that's
Sure.
that's kind of part of it, I guess. But that's not the main motivating factor. The main motivating factor now, after I've had a few years of all this wonderful feedback from people who are struggling with their own self identities and their own self confidence,
Yep.
and just the fact that they've had a chat with me boosts that. That surprised me at first.
Amazing, right?
Now I love it. I absolutely love the opportunity. If I can help one person be a little bit more positive, maybe 30 years from now that person's going to be the president of the United States and change everything.
Totally.
Who knows?
Totally. What a great outlook, and it's so true. Really, something that I've learned in the last couple of weeks, which I always knew, but I guess the universe was giving me some messages, is how important it is to understand your power to make other people feel good. And it's so great to hear the reaction that you get. Like I said, I definitely feel like you come from love. Some of the questions that came up in my head while you were talking were, I know you said that you are very intentional with who you are and what you look like and all of that stuff, but was when you were a veterinarian, was this something that you had kind of you said you tried on dresses when you were younger, so you already knew you kind of liked it.
I've been wearing girls' panties all my life, first of all. But
Okay.
as a veterinarian, I wore scrubs. Nobody saw the panties underneath.
Right.
But one of the one of the requirements that I gave the two big employers that I worked for when coming on board with them was that, one, I will keep my long hair. I'll wear it in a ponytail. I
Right.
will keep at least one earring.
Right.
I will keep the bushy mustache.
Right.
Otherwise I'm not going to work for you. And
Right.
so
Right.
that's pretty much the extent of what the public saw visually. But
Right.
once I got to know clients, then they were allowed into my world a little bit, and
Okay.
I think
So
that
you would dress up like this outside in your own private life. You would dress up like this.
sure. Well, yeah, not only in my own private life in the bedroom, but I went out and about in mini
Great.
skirts as long as I can remember when I was not
Right.
on work. Yeah.
Right.
I love mini skirts. Like I said, I have over 3,000 garments, and
Right.
I might have 3 long dresses. All the rest are mini, and
Right.
that's just me. That's my style. That's what
Awesome. I
I
love
was
it.
blessed with some okay legs. And so
Right.
I like to walk around in them.
Yeah, I think the other thing that I said kind of you have a very non-threatening vibe. People who are confused about transgender and
Yeah.
maybe have some feelings that they don't really get. Um, you're not like a drag person or a trans person trying to be something you're not.
No,
You're
no.
not
In
you didn't
fact, some of
shave,
my
you know what I mean?
first
You're
thing out of
like,
my mouth is, "You'll never be a woman," and my
right.
response is, "Good. I don't want to be a woman."
Yeah. Yeah. But I think
I'm
again,
proud of my bushy mustache. I'm
yeah,
proud of my flat chest. And, when I'm wearing, some clothes, I'm proud of the man bump. I'm not
totally.
trying to be what I'm not up in here. All I am, I'm a
Yeah.
man that likes to look like this. That's as simple as it is.
I love it. And congratulations for knowing
And
who
we
you
love it
are
a
and what you
lot.
are and yeah, we totally do. So I know Courtney she's got a little book of questions. Um,
Okay.
I'm
Well,
gonna
fire away.
I'm gonna turn it over to her in a minute, but I would love to do a little fashion show with you. We have some
Oh, the
pictures.
slide pictures I sent. Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
we got a lot of pictures.
Okay.
Why don't you tell us what we're looking at in each slide and what your kind of intention was with each
All
slide.
right. I'm going to have to move in a little so I can see it better.
Okay, great.
You're
All right.
good.
when I design a look, which I do almost every night, I'm very, very ADHD. I was on Ritalin when I was a kid. I was on, the other drugs. I'm not on any of those now. I survive on caffeine, but I usually spend most of the middle of the night designing a look. And
Okay.
that always starts with one thing. And then ADHD builds on that until OCD said enough. Okay. That's pretty much how it works. And
Okay.
for example, this look started with this pink starred mesh mini bodycon and went from there. So that's what you're seeing here.
Right.
And I told you I was a professional photographer for 10 or more years.
I
And
was going to ask, did you?
so,
Are these
even though I'm just shooting with a little iPhone, so it's not the high quality, it's not the Hasselblads or the Nikons or whatever, but the digital experience, I got to admit, I was so against digital for so long. And then all of a sudden I discovered, look what you can do with it. Yeah, it's not going to blow up to a 30 by 40 very well, but who cares?
right,
And so I play.
social media? You don't need it.
That's my
Yeah.
mom's artistic side coming out in me.
Yeah.
I consider these works of art.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact,
Absolutely.
I've had a number of people who have told me that they have blown some of my pictures up and put them on their wall. And I am so
Oh,
flattered.
wow, that's amazing.
That's cool. Very cool. So, all right. Well, that's look number one. I got a whole bunch of these. So let's go. What we got next? So that's
That's out and about. That's at the mall. It's one of my favorite malls, and they've got a lot of art around. So I like to pose with it. I thought that was, kind of a cool one.
yeah, that's perfect. That's the same outfit, right? Same setup, pretty much.
As last time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. And yeah, what can I tell you? That one started with the boa and went from there.
I got you. So you let the boa inspire the shoot and the pose.
The boa, kind of, I let the boa, well, and, the black, panties that you can see are some really cool Victoria's Secret ones with some really fun, like strappy detail in the back and stuff. And, I'm not going to, stick all of my 69-year-old butt in everybody's face. So the boa kind of, hides just enough of it. You know what I mean? So I try to be, my late wife, Nancy, was so wonderful. When she and I were running our photo studio, we were getting into doing portfolio shots of models and dancers and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was an opportunity. She gave me for my birthday a weekend experience at the Playboy Resort in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin,
Oh,
where
nice.
one of my absolute favorite fashion photographers was given a seminar, Peter Gowland. And
Wow.
so I went and learned a ton from him and, have his autograph book and the whole thing. But my point was that he taught me a lot about fashion photography. And, sometimes exposing a little bit is a lot sexier than just putting the whole thing out there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. This is great. Good stuff.
And the background, just, I'm a hippie. Okay. I'm a cowboy. I'm a hippie. I'm a lot of things, but, I still have the psychedelic, kind of thing going on as well. So
For sure. Yeah.
And did you paint that background yourself?
no, I stole it off the internet.
Okay. Oops.
It's a digital composition. Yeah.
You just Google psychedelic backgrounds, and screenshot away, and I don't think that I'm doing anybody a big disservice, if they didn't want to, if they wanted me to pay for it, they'd have put watermarks all over it and charge me,
It's all good. We don't judge here.
This one was a little outfit that I ordered online. I do order, from when you're on Facebook, especially, you're scrolling down and, every third or fourth thing is a advertisement from some inexpensive clothing line, and I do order some stuff from there. So this was that shorts and top set, and went from there. Those boots are just absolutely stunning boots. I can't go out of the house with those boots on without getting at least 10 compliments. I swear, they are, I just absolutely love those things. They're like holographic. They're from a place called, I don't know, Fairy something, but
Oh, that's cool. So they're like iridescent when you.
they're holographic. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Oh, hold on a second. Let's see. What do we got next?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
I like to do. I'm sitting a block from the ocean in New Jersey, and that is off the back porch looking west. So I like to do sunsets off of that, and that's a Goodwill garment. That's a $1 garment.
That's great. It's interesting because like it's funny. I talk about how this show has affected me, and I'm looking at this picture, and I feel like this picture is such a powerful statement about humanity, especially right now. It's just like there's so much going on here that is.
Well, thank you. It's it partly every now and then, probably 2 or 3 times in the whole run that I've been on social media, I get somebody that is just seriously has serious problems with my man, but even though it's fully covered. My rule is I follow the law. There's no indecent exposure going on, and
There's nothing wrong there. Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
my
cowboy.
exactly, it's part of what I am, and if somebody doesn't like it, then change the channels, or whatever. But
Yeah,
and so
exactly.
part of that is kind of flaunting that and saying, hey, there it is. I'm proud of it. If you don't like it, don't look at it.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about this actually when I first saw your photos and just some of the things that we like to talk about. We talk about AI and we talk about the evolution of humanity and things like
Right.
that.
Right.
There's like an element here, and I'm just only briefly familiar with the idea of what transhuman is. Um,
Yeah, that's a sticky one. I don't
yeah,
know. Wow, that is a little bit scary. I got to tell you, I saw 2001: A Space Odyssey on 2 hits of Orange Sunshine, and ever since then, I've been fascinated with the concept. And
yeah,
I mean, you got the $1 million man or the $5 million man or whatever, and then next thing you know, you've got movies about robots that have full AI. So
right.
where does the control? Well, I don't know. I just hope that before all of that destroys humanity, I'll be long gone.
Well, I think you're certainly making an impact right here, which is great, and I think it sounds like a positive impact, which seriously, that makes me so happy to hear that you go out in public and people respond in that way to you because I know I
You're
respond.
breaking up with there, Michael. I don't know if that's a problem.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
breaking
hold
up,
on a second.
Michael.
Let me come back.
He's gonna come back, y'all. And I just dropped something.
Oh, there's Courtney. Hi.
Hello,
I
hello,
love your
Mr.
hat,
Michael.
girl. I love that.
Thank
That's so
you.
cool. Yeah.
I put a flower headband over a little bowl
Nice.
hat that I
Yeah,
got
I
from a
do that
costume
too. I
store.
put a flower hat band on my Stetson all the time. Yeah, yeah, that's wonderful.
And this is Dahlia. She's dressed in a
Hi.
She said hi back. She's
She's
dressed
a,
in like a corset.
she's adorable.
Oh, thank you. She's my girlfriend.
Well, there
And
you go.
Michael's back.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
how's
there we
that?
go. Yeah, now I can see all three of us better too. You must have changed something.
All right, awesome. So anyway, what I was talking about really was less about the AI and more about kind of who you are and what you represent
Right?
as kind of this evolution of humanity. Like, you're not gay, which is awesome. Whatever. That
I
doesn't
just,
even
yeah, it's not my fault. Sorry.
no, and that's not even that's what
I,
I'm
you know,
saying. That's that's not
I
even
just
the
don't
issue.
like it when people have to cubbyhole without having any information about what they're
Right.
cubbyholing. So part of my mission is to help them to understand that there's more than just black and white in the world. Human
Yeah.
diversity
Yeah.
involves a whole rainbow spectrum. And the best part of all is that the one that you are the most scared of could turn out to be your strongest ally.
Yeah, yeah, no, I think you represent something so really powerful. And I think that when we were talking about gender before versus sexuality, you make it very apparent that gender is more like a culture thing. Like, it's like it's what you wear, it's what you look like, it's how you present yourself is gender. It's not necessarily a role or a sexuality. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
yeah, again, one of my big educational drives is to help people understand that there's a difference between sexuality and gender
Mhm.
identity. You can identify in one way and have sexual preferences in an apparently different direction. And
Right.
that's okay. That's
Right.
wonderful. But it's not apparent to the general public. And so, what I hope to do is to, help people understand, especially young people, that, their feelings of insecurity because of the fact that they have a gender assignment forced down their throat from being a child is not their fault, and that they do have options.
Right. Right. Yeah, it sounds like from the story you told, and I'd love to hear some more, that you
I'm
also
back.
what's up, Courtney? You also make the parents very comfortable when you do interact with the children. They're not like, oh, don't talk to that guy, or they're not. They're actually more comfortable to approach you afterwards.
Well,
And
I'm sure that there are those that, I mean, when I'm walking through a busy mall, for example, I look at everybody's face as I go by. And if they look at me and make eye contact, and I'll smile at them. If they smile back, yay, and sometimes they'll stop, and sometimes they'll just say, oh, nice shoes or whatever, sometimes we end up in a conversation. I've
right,
made some close friends that way. But on the other hand, there's a lot of people that just look away. And, I can tell that they're uncomfortable, and that's okay. I'm not going to go out of my way to try to change their mind unless they make themselves open to that. But I think that it's so important that, you know, there's a lot of controversy, as I know you're well aware, about, the trans thing and bathroom, assignments and blah, the fuck, blah. And, you know, and, and some parents, I think the problem is that they're afraid. They're
yeah,
afraid that their child is not going to succeed unless they become a clone of them.
right,
If they're anything other than a clone of them, then they're going to fail.
right,
That's almost as bad as the parents that are so afraid that their kid's going to fail that they try to convince them not to try.
right.
That's
That's
absolutely horrible.
horrible. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but
I was blessed. I grew up exactly the opposite,
right, right,
and my whole family, granddaddy, grandma, mom, dad, the whole thing.
right,
I was 10 years old, and my dad was a gearhead. He was in the Navy. He was, a salesman, sold construction equipment. And so what I got from him was, he helped me work on his, hot rod, and he introduced me to, wrenching on cars and stuff like that. I was 10 years old. He found one of his buddies to give me a sponsorship so that I could race quarter midgets every Sunday afternoon, stuff like that. So that's the environment I grew up in. And I was so lucky because the more people I talked to, well, how often did your mom say, I'm proud of you when you were growing up?
mhm,
It's astounding how many people respond with never.
right,
My
right.
mom never let a day go by without saying, I'm proud of you, Mike. You're doing a good thing.
So
Now,
important.
I was an idiot. I was a moron like any other kid now and then, but she always handled it in such a good way that, I always came away from those, incidents um, just wanting to be better and more like what she thought I should be. I
Right,
wanted to live up to, because I admired her so much. Her art, her music,
that's
her
awesome.
interaction with the world, the
Right,
whole thing.
right,
And so that's what I want. So since I know that lots of people didn't have that opportunity to grow up that way, they've been conditioned. I don't want to really use the word brainwash, but that's essentially what it is, conditioning. We all are
absolutely,
conditioned as kids by our
absolutely,
environment, by our contacts, etc.
right.
Sometimes you grow up and that conditioning backfires and it turns you into a miserable slob that either goes and shoots up a school or kills himself.
Right. Well, that's why we love people like you, because you're an example of the good things that can come out of that. um, so before I turn it over to Courtney, and Courtney, I'm not sure I think we know the answer to the first question already, but I want to know. You said you had some stories where you should have been dead or you almost died.
Okay,
Um,
sure.
was it because you were partying? Was it good stuff, or was it you were getting into trouble doing bad things? Like tell us a story.
Well, again, back to rule number one, long as nobody gets hurt. So I was always very careful that whatever I did was not going to have collateral damage. Okay, that's number one.
Okay.
So, okay, I'll run one by you. When I was in high school, again, I
There was
worked as a apprentice mechanic at my granddad started a JI Case Construction Equipment Company in Montana. That's how he got the money to build his horse farm, and he actually helped to develop a special breed of pony called Pony of America
Wow.
for kids. All right. So anyway, I worked there as an apprentice mechanic, and all the mechanics there were great. They were friendly to me and everything. I was the low guy on the totem pole. Nepotism was not allowed, so I was always a grunt, which was fine. I didn't care.
Mhm.
And I bought it a 66 GTO. It was kind of a basket case, I bought it at a junkyard. Back then, you'd go to a junkyard and say, I want that. Well, you got the tools to take it off? Yeah, okay, so, whatever. So I spent a lot of time at junkyards, staking engines out of cars and putting them in other cars and stuff like that. So this 66 took me 2 years, and I finally got it built up to where it ran real well, but it just didn't quite have everything it needed. And so the mechanics that worked there were appreciative of me because I had an inside line to, the owners, my parents, and got them a better deal, got them raises, got them a little better, deals. And so they just loved me to death. And so they helped me all the time. They helped me a lot. So one Christmas morning, I went down to the shop to just check things out. And there sitting on the bench was a not brand new to me. It was a used intake manifold with 2 4-barrel double pumper Holley carburetors on it.
Nice.
That would fit right on the GTO. It had 1 4-barrel. It started out with 3 2-barrels, but then it went to a 4-barrel. Anyway, they found that somewhere, don't know where, and that was their gift to me. So once I got that on, that GTO would do 150 miles an hour in a quarter mile.
Wow.
Now, growing up in Montana, there's no daytime speed limit. All right. Now, in town, sure, but out on the open road, safe and prudent is how the sign read. All right. So seriously. And so anyway, after high school, I had a roommate. He and I were selling weed and acid. And he had a big brother who had a big mouth. And his big brother had a Mustang Cobra GT or some shit. I'm not a Ford guy. Anyway. And he started bragging about how he got his Cobra going 135 miles an hour while his girlfriend shotgunned a big bowl of weed, threw a real shotgun into his nose. He had somebody in the back seat with a stopwatch to verify that he'd done that. And he just would not shut up about it. So my roommate got real tired of hearing about it. He said, what can we do with your goat? And I said, well, how about we just go all out? So we made a couple of acid balls, which consist of a hit of acid and some meth, and for IV consumption. We put a couple of girls in the back seat with a stopwatch, and we hit about a 10-mile long, straight as an arrow stretch of nice empty road. And as soon as we got it up to 150 miles an hour, both of us injected our acid balls.
Holy crap.
And here I am.
There you go. That is quite a story. So what happened next? I'm on the tip of my seat here.
Oh, with that story? Well, we went and we, stuck our chests out and went and told his brother what had happened. And we, spread the news that now we were the king of the, dipshits that, did stupid stuff in cars. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you what, our acid sales went sky high after that, too.
There you go. Marketing. Awesome. Marketing. That's great. Awesome. Very cool. I love that story. Thank you for sharing it.
Well, and, later in life, I was a veterinarian. I was married to my second wonderful wife, little Katie, who was a cowgirl, self-proclaimed barn rat. She was the best horse trainer ever after my granddaddy. Okay. And she talked me into buying this really special quarter horse for her. And so I did, and she won lots of barrel races with it and had a lot of fun with it and everything. Nice. And I had not ridden a horse. I'd not had a horse between my legs at that point for a good 30 years. But of course, that doesn't stop the desire. So she was off to a seminar or something. So I went down to the ranch where the farm, in the east, they're farms. I don't know what's with that. Anyway, so I went down to the farm, saddled him up, and took a nice ride, and broke my back, essentially.
Wow. How'd that happen?
I was just doing something stupid. I was going way too fast, and I misjudged the distance before a 4-board fence.
Oh, shit.
So all of a sudden, at the last minute, I had a fast choice to make. I was either going to try to lean that horse over and turn to avoid the fence, or jump it. I chose to jump it. Problem is, there was an asphalt driveway on the other side that we landed on.
Oh,
Thank my lucky stars. One of the reasons I'm still alive is because the horse didn't get hurt. I tell you
wow.
what, if the horse would have gotten hurt, she'd have killed me. But he didn't. I did. I broke my back,
Wow.
had spinal surgery, 3 of them. Spent
Wow.
10 years on pain management while I had an overwhelming practice in exotic animal medicine, which involved 15, 20 animals a day, 6 or 7 days a week.
Wow.
But I managed until the DEA decided to scare the pain management doctors into, you got to shut them off. You can't, you can't do this anymore, And so I got shut off. And so guess what? Just like everybody else in the same boat, I ended up going to the bad side of town, if you will.
Wow.
And, was on heroin for a couple of years. I still maintained a 99+% positive client satisfaction rating at work. I
Wow.
did that until I reached the breaking point. And then I died because I got sold a bunch of fentanyl. And I did that on a Sunday night. And Wednesday, I woke up and heard the story about how I died on the table.
Holy
Oof.
shit.
And I have not touched anything since then. That's been several years. I've not touched anything but Excedrin, caffeine, a little tequila, and some weed.
So did you have any sort of like near death out of body experience?
Oh yeah, I floated above the table watching them shock
Tell
me.
us.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
And I saw the light, and I heard Nancy saying, "Not yet, not yet,
Wow.
not yet." Next thing I know, I'm waking up in ICU, and this psych intern, who probably shouldn't have been telling me stuff, but he did. He told me the whole story about how they Narcaned me 3 times on the way to the hospital. That didn't work. And
Wow.
that's because I also was overloaded with Xanax besides the fentanyl. The
Wow.
Xanax was because I'd been in withdrawal for 3 days and I was going to have to work the next day. So I damn well had to get myself, in shape to work.
Wow.
Right? Well, so then we scored, and it turns out that the heroin was almost pure fentanyl.
Wow. That's
100 times too much. Yeah. So I should have been dead. I was dead for a few seconds, I guess.
wow.
And so those kinds of experience, I hear Mom going, "Oh my God," but I also hear her saying, "Everything happens for a reason. Make that count. Make that experience mean something to somebody."
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to do.
That's great. So let me get this straight then. I'm kind of putting this all together.
Yeah.
You're on social media.
Yeah.
You're a runaway hit because you're just so authentic and you're intentional and you're doing what you're doing and you're writing your memoirs.
That's right.
So I think you'll do pretty well when those are ready to go because everybody's primed and ready to have that.
Well, again, what I do when almost all of my posts, I mean, some of them are just pure fashion, telling where I got this garment and where I got that garment and stuff like that. But I tell a lot of those stories, like the ones that I just told there,
Right.
and basically that's how I'm writing my autobiography, because in not too much more time, I'll be able to compile all those stories into a cohesive memoir, if you will.
That's
And
awesome.
I think that there's, I have learned as an adult how valuable the kind of upbringing I had is, and how rare it is now.
Sure.
And so I want to spread some of that, because so many people tell me that, they're miserable because this person, that person, their parents, whatever, have drilled into their head that if you cross that line, you're dead to me. And it's just not right. And, and when comes right down to it, like I said before, there are people I will never win an argument with, and I recognize them pretty quick. And my mom was a very devout Christian. I went to church with her every Sunday. Mostly for her. I believe in karma. I really don't want to get into what I believe about religion, other than the fact that she was very literal when I was young with the Bible, and then as an adult, we had conversations when I was in my 50s where she finally told me that she knew darn well that I was trying on her dresses when I was a kid.
Wow.
She didn't let me know she knew because she figured that she would let me figure it out and I'd be fine. She had that kind of confidence in me.
Right.
But as she aged and mellowed, and I'm a scientist. I was veterinarian for 30 years, and so I believe in science, and I also believe that there's very little conflict, really, between the basic things religion says and what science shows, and so I'm very proud of the fact that I got her kind of in a mindset before she passed that she was comfortable, much more comfortable with, a little bit of an acceptance like that
Right.
because it really didn't conflict with what she really believed in her heart.
Right. 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 That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think we probably have the same feelings. Religion is kind of, it's been a little distorted, from
Well, it's had its purpose. It's had
yeah,
its purpose,
absolutely,
and
absolutely,
maybe still does. That's fine. But
absolutely.
it's like anything else in life, yin and yang, positive, negative. There's a pendulum that swings.
Right.
It's
Yep.
either too extreme this way or too extreme this way. I like to see things in the middle. You know what I mean?
Cool. Awesome. I like how you jingle when you move. That's kind of cool.
Janice. Ever since Janice, did I tell you the Janice story?
You did not tell us the Janice
No,
story.
That's my most important story.
Oh, well, you got to tell us. It's funny you say that because that's my girlfriend's name.
Okay. When I was 16, all right, I was very rebellious and so forth. And I already told you a little about that time in my life. But I had, in high school, I was a stoner. I was accepted by the gearheads. The kids in band pretty much snobbed me, which I didn't really care about because I didn't really like them anyway. But, the point is that I had a very similar kind of experience in school that Janice did. Maybe not as severe. Do you know that Janice, she said on Dick Cavett once, she said, I was laughed out of class, laughed out of town, and laughed out of state, man. And in college, they actually voted Janis Joplin the ugliest man on campus.
Oh.
I've heard
How
that.
do you recover from that?
Yeah,
She became the first rock and roll superstar, female superstar. That's how she recovered. So I was just all into that.
Yeah.
So I had a car, had that GTO, got about 6 miles a gallon. I wasn't going to get to Woodstock on the money I had in my pocket from Montana. So I stuck the thumb out and I went to Woodstock. And it wasn't too long where I was sitting next to her.
Wow.
Yeah, I was telling her my story. She was very impressed with what I'd done to come and see her. And I told her just a little about how I felt like we were kind of compadres, as far as being bullied in school and stuff.
Right.
And she gave me the biggest hug and kiss that I, had ever gotten at that stage of my life from a real woman.
Wow.
And she gave me a little bracelet.
Oh.
Yeah. Not a fancy one, just a little one. Of course, she had about 100 on each side.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and so my Woodstock experience is going to be at least a chapter in the book.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I met most of the people there. I did the same acid Carlos did. I was doing some backstage help.
Nice.
Carlos, Soul Sacrifice. He had dropped acid and was expecting to go on about 10 hours later, but all of a sudden, oh no, you got to go on now. And he's speaking, right? Yeah. So he likes to talk about how he knew that his fingers knew where to go and what to do, but the neck of his guitar kept on kind of swirling around.
Turning into a snake. I remember that story.
Yeah. So that that was my coming of age summer. That was my coming of age trip.
Wow.
And so waking up Monday morning to Jimmy playing that wild version of Star Spangled Banner. I'm very much a patriot, by the way. I don't think that things are ideal, no, but basically I like this country and I always have. And so waking up to Jimmy playing Star Spangled Banner in his own unique way was just absolutely just like it happened yesterday.
Wow. I'm totally seeing a movie out of this, and more than a book. I can see a movie.
It's beautiful. I would definitely watch it.
Such a great story, man. It's so, and it's
Well,
so great
thank you.
to
Thank
yeah
you.
to see.
You
You're
know,
welcome.
I'm just starting to learn this. I really didn't
Right.
realize, I didn't recognize in myself what I had to maybe
Yeah.
offer until I retired, basically. I mean, I
No.
knew I had to offer while I was a veterinarian. I
Right.
was one of the top avian and exotic veterinarians in the Northeast, and I
Right.
not brag, just fact. I loved
Right.
it. I was
Right.
good at it. But that's pretty much that was my pretty much my life. But
Right.
now I don't have that anymore. So
Right.
now I'm kind of falling back on some of these things that I started out with
Right.
and
Right.
expanding on them.
Totally. Totally. So, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I already told you once. I've been 16, 53 times,
Oh,
student.
right. You
I've been
did tell
around
me
the sun
that. You
69
you did
times.
tell me that. Yeah, but I was gonna say you did tell me that. You're right.
Yeah, no,
Um,
sorry. I just like to.
no,
Did,
no, it's awesome
did you
I
say
like
because
to
you were
make you grin.
69? Did you
Pardon?
say you were 69?
69,
yeah, yeah. So
the
one
Yeah.
of
magic
the
number. Yep.
yeah, one of the things that's I feel
Oh,
is amazing about your energy is how youthful you are, and you did say it at the that's the first thing you said is I'm 15 years old. I've been 15 for 63 years, right? Or what
I've been
53?
53.
16 for 53 years. Right.
Right. That's awesome. And
53,
you know
okay.
what? You lived
I
up to that
refuse.
state.
I am such a rebellious heart. I refuse to accept. I mean, I know that my body is slowing, failing, not failing, but I mean, I'm in really good health. I stay
Yeah.
fit and all of that. People
Yeah.
are always telling me I should put weight on, and I would if I could, I guess. But I just eat when I'm hungry, and
Yeah.
that's that. And I stay the same. I'm the same weight as I was in high school. So,
Yeah.
you know,
No, but
uh,
you're still very vital and full of life, which is
well, I feel that way. Yeah,
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
that way. Yeah. And, having this interaction on social media in public with you guys uh, plays a huge role in keeping my heart singing and young.
That's awesome. That's
And I
awesome. We
gotta
love it.
say, your positive energy have made me feel so much better right now because an hour ago I was just like, ugh, I I was just feeling moody and feeling kind of depressed. But once I hopped on, I was like, oh my goodness, I feel it.
There you
I've
go.
Oh,
been
that's
blessed.
beautiful. That's my goal, sweetheart. I really, and I hope you don't mind terms of endearment. I usually call people
Oh,
one of about five things, and
Ah,
that's
you
one.
get it.
well, that's great.
Uh, Sorry, I've got this kind of compulsion. I've got over 100 pairs of cheap sunglasses and stuff.
Yeah, that's all
No,
good.
I
We
like
love
to
it.
I like to rotate.
We love it. No, it's awesome. I love how I'm a photographer myself.
Oh, cool.
I'm a visual artist, so I love the whole visual nature of your being. You know what I
Thank
mean?
you.
Your everything. So
Well,
it's great.
I consider that a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah. So, but we've been going for an hour already. We usually end now, but I know Courtney's got a bunch of questions she wants to ask you.
Well, I'm at your mercy. I'm here until the sun comes up. So I'm going
Awesome.
to shift back to the
I
chair
mean,
if
I
that's
got the
okay.
time. Let's go.
All right.
Let's do it. Oh, nice bubble gun. I love it.
Woo!
All right.
Bubbles. Nice.
That's the first on our show
Love
for
me some
sure.
bubbles.
What, the bubble
Okay.
machine?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Am
I
I
love
framed okay
bubbles.
there?
Okay.
Do I need to tilt up or down or?
No, you're good. I mean, your head's, if you're, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable if you feel like you have to lean forward, but you're good right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. As long as you can
Would
see
you
what
like
you
me to
need to
start
see.
the questions?
Yes. Start your questions,
Okay.
Courtney.
Go ahead.
Okay. Michael or Doc Bubbles. What is
People call me Doc. They call me Mike. They call me Michael. Just don't call me late to dinner.
okay? Okay, Michael. What is strange and wonderful about yourself?
Really?
I love that answer. That is so great. Oh my
Uh,
God.
I think I just spent the last hour answering
That,
that
that's
question.
what I was saying, Courtney. I was like, I think the first
I
question's
think yeah.
already been answered. But
That would have
go
been
on.
the first question.
I love that
Okay.
response though. Really? Really?
Really? Well, the
It's
second
taken
question
me, like
kind
I
of.
said before, it's taken me a while to accept that. Yeah, I guess I am kind of special.
We
And I
love it.
don't mean that in an arrogant way. I know sometimes it sounds like that, but to me,
No,
arrogance implies superiority, which I feel none of.
no, no.
Uh, but I just get so much feedback.
Yeah, you found what makes you unique. You really did. You found
Well,
it. You
people like
embraced
that
it.
because they want to be unique too, but they're afraid
Yeah,
to.
right, right. No, it's you've embraced it, which is great. It's I think that's also another reason for the positive response to you is you show people what it's like to not be afraid. You know what I mean?
Well,
People are afraid and you show what it's like. It's great. It's
there's a
amazing.
huge advantage to it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
just
I'm sorry,
basing
Courtney, I
yourself
didn't mean to
on
squash your question. You got
yeah.
what else you got?
Well, the second one, I think it's already got part of it answered already. Do you want to hear it though, or do you just want
Sure,
to
yeah,
skip
go
over and
ahead.
go to the next one? Okay.
Yeah.
When did you discover your sense of style and fashion?
When I was about 8,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I knew that mom's dress looked better on me than it did on her.
That's great.
Well,
Okay.
no
Next.
kidding. And all through school, all through my youth and pubescence and so forth, I had a little 63. I've had lots of cars, but I had at one point, at an important point, I had a 63 Corvair convertible with a
Nice.
spider engine and the whole thing. And
Nice.
it was all black for a little while. Next thing you know, it was Panther pink. Okay. And, it had stickers and flags and this and that and the other thing. And,
Nice.
I was, uh, and people, you know, went, why? And I said, because it's me. That's why. And people ask
Exactly.
me now, I drive an older Honda Fit, which is actually a really cool little car
Oh,
because
I
it's,
love the fit.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, this one is also rally equipped and stuff. So it,
Nice.
fulfills my need for speed and turning too fast on corners and stuff like that. But, people ask me if I win the lottery, um, what car would I buy? Well,
Hmm,
59 Cadillac convertible, thank you very much, in bright pink.
nice.
There you go.
And so that sense of style that you ask about, I think mom gave that to me. I don't know if it was inherited or if it was through the way that she raised me. I'm not sure. But that's where I got it, and that's how long I've had it.
Okay.
Cool.
And do you think like had like anyone in peculiar inspire you with your style? Was it like your mom?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first
I
part
know
of that.
I jumbled that question. Okay, had anyone in peculiar inspire you with your style?
Has anybody? What's that word? The
In
next word?
particular,
Peculiar,
in
Oh, in
particular.
particular. Okay, I'm
particular.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My volume is not great, and I was at too many rock concerts. I was actually kind of a rock groupie, but so my hearing is not wonderful. So I'm sorry. Anyone in
Okay.
particular? Yeah, there have been a number of people in particular in my life that have, you know, made changes in their life that kind of emulate me a little bit. I don't want somebody just being a clone of me, but
Oh
what
yeah.
I do want to encourage is for people to, just open up their one of my hashtags. Every single post I have, there's about, I don't know, 6 or 8 hashtags. One of them is turn your imagination loose. You know,
Mhm.
allow yourself to imagine, allow yourself to fantasize.
Mhm.
And then go there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there's been several people that I've been very proud of because I've seen them change from being more modest and more. There's nothing wrong with modesty. I don't really mean modesty, I guess, but from being more, um, I guess,
Conservative.
traditional and so
Mm,
forth to
yeah.
being more flamboyant in their own way,
Right.
and they have made it known to me that I have inspired them to do that, and that they feel so much more wonderful now that they feel
That's
free
great.
to do that.
Yeah.
And that's what motivates me. That's what gets my head off the pillow in the morning, and well, actually in the afternoon. But and it's why I mean, I like shopping. I go to the mall a lot. I might not spend much, but I end up having a lot of fun. I ride. There's a merry-go-round at one of the malls. I love to ride that, and I like to do childish kind of stuff.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
because people see me doing that, and I know they're thinking. I can see the wheels turning. God, I wish I would had the balls to do that.
Right.
Some of
Right.
them develop it. They see
Yeah.
that, they say, well, okay, like the old guy I told you about that. I mean, he seriously looked like a pipe fitter. He looked like,
Yeah.
and he was a real nice guy, very humble kind of a guy. And he told me he had this skirt that he was just dying to wear, like to Goodwill or something, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And I saw him later, about a week later, at Goodwill with his skirt on,
Nice.
and he said it was because I gave him the courage. He said, if you can get away with what you do, I can probably get away with this.
Yeah, that's great. I
And
love
that's
it.
beautiful. Okay. Had yourself inspired to be, well, have you inspired anybody else to be them true self? To me, I think we all know the answer to that.
Yeah, yeah. That was the. I think you just answered that question. Totally.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. How do you deal with the people with hateful comments towards you?
Well, that kind of depends. I usually kind of, it depends on the venue, whether it's on social media when you get a comment, or whether it's in public when somebody actually has the balls to comment in public.
Mhm.
Yeah, I kind of take it. I mean, the first thing that crosses my mind automatically is risk assessment. Is this person likely to be a threat to me?
Right.
Or do they just
Yeah.
think that they need to let the world around them know that they're nothing like me?
Right.
Or or does what they see in me conflict with their religious beliefs to the point where they think they have to fix me? You know, and I can usually get a pretty good handle on, somebody's motivation for their negative comments
Right.
pretty quickly. And if
Right.
it's one of those, I'll never win that argument. So I
Right.
don't even try. So, but the arguments that I can win and what I can, because I can, like I said, I've developed a you know, pretty precise, um, I guess, ability to make a quick judgment about whether this person that's making the comment is somebody that I might be able to turn around, become friends with,
Right.
somebody that might actually understand me,
Right.
etc. Or is it somebody that I can just alleviate their fears a little bit, or even just, you know, I know I look like something I'm not from a sexual standpoint, and that doesn't bother me. I really don't care. If somebody thinks I'm gay. This idea of being misgendered. I get called ma'am all the time. I smile, say thanks. I smile, turn around, make sure they see the bushy mustache, and then they
Right.
get,
Right. Right.
oh, that's okay. I don't really care. That doesn't bother me a bit. And just being that way, I think helps a lot of people to become
Absolutely. Yeah.
more comfortable with whatever they are. You know,
Right. Right.
um, but so I don't mind satisfying curiosity, because a lot of times once we get past that, then people often tend to open up, and I find out that, oh, you used to work on Volkswagens. I used to work on Volkswagens. Or, oh, you grew up on horses. Yeah. Oh, so did I. Or
Right.
it's just, I mean, at that point when they kind of get a handle on what they're seeing, so that they can kind of cubbyhole into what they consider like a safe place, or
Right.
this person is safe to me, they're not a threat to me,
Right.
different, and okay, fine, whatever.
Yep.
But oh, guess what, you know um we both won $100 at Pimlico, whatever,
Right. Right. Right.
and the similarities far outweigh the differences in most
Yeah.
cases.
Yeah. 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 You're still human. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's great. So I have a question. I know you got a couple more, Courtney. Have you? When I was doing my research and I saw your photos and I read your bio and stuff, I didn't realize that social media was kind of where you're at right now. Um, and I guess that's one of the big things where you're finding a lot of response. Have you thought about doing something like this where you host a show? Do you go live and do
I
you?
have not yet, no.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't want to. People have asked me, do you have a YouTube channel and stuff like that? That's mostly videos. And I do a few videos. I mean, I've got like 72,000 followers on TikTok, but
Right.
those are mostly kind of silly stuff,
Right.
just banging around, not really being serious about anything, or playing the harmonica, stuff like that.
Right.
In order to do interview stuff like this, uh, gosh, I find 24 hours a day is, falls short for my life as it is.
Right. Right.
Just
Right. Right.
it can sometimes I can put a look together in an hour. Wham bam, I shoot it, find a background, I'm done. write
Right.
some copy, get it up, and I'm off.
Right.
Sometimes it can take 6, 8 hours off and on a
Wow.
process. Sometimes these looks. This one took about 2 hours or so
Wow.
before I was comfortable with it. And I'm talking about trial and error. You can't
Right.
see the huge mound of clothes over here. All
That's
right.
great.
So
No,
my
that's
point
great.
is that I'm not ready yet to make the commitment to producing video content with enough regularity
Right.
to, to be a viable kind of a venue for me. I think
Right.
eventually it probably could.
Yeah, I can totally see it. I can totally see you, and again, I could see it as a way for you to communicate with people. I definitely feel like you love to articulate all of the everything that you're about, and why, and there's a reason for it. There's an
Well,
energy,
to be
intent.
honest with you, doing this is kind of getting my feet wet because that has
Yep.
been in my mind for quite a while.
Great. Listen, if you
Before
need, let me know if you need any help. I would love to help you, put something together. That's what I do. I'm a like a video production guy. But
Cool.
yeah, I can see it. And not only that, but besides the video production aspect of it, I think I've also become very intrigued with this platform, the idea of these conversations and the fact that you and I are getting to know each other. Mostly I'm getting to know you, but also the viewers are getting to know you. It exists as video that people can sign on to and watch, and they do, and it's such a cool platform and a way to connect humanity again, which I believe is part of your intention and part of your message, is
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
so yeah,
Well,
let me know.
yeah, I can. I would definitely take you up on that. Like I say, I like to go out and about at least every other day, if not every day. Maybe just to go to the store to buy some monsters or milk or
Right.
something, or maybe to go treat myself to a new mini skirt or some whatever. I like being out and about in the public. I love going to the Asbury Park Boardwalk, one of my favorite places to go.
Right.
Partly because I'm right there next to the beach, so dressing skimpy is a little bit more kind of okay.
Right. And where are you located?
I'm on the East Coast. I'm in New Jersey, about
Okay.
halfway up the shore. Just a stone throw from Asbury Park, home of Bruce, the $5,000 ticket taker. Sorry.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I
Anyway,
think
yeah, a Stone Pony is like 10 minutes from me.
cool.
So, I,
I,
I happen to live about a block from the boardwalk. I can walk over there in five
that's
minutes.
awesome.
And,
I
I'm
can't
going to
imagine.
the Asbury Park Boardwalk is about a 15-minute drive. But, so that's where I'm
Yeah.
at.
Cool. No, I can't imagine. Like again, totally. If you want to reach out to me, that's great. But I also can't imagine you'd have any problems finding people who are interested in helping you, like a couple of video guys, to go out with you and document interactions with people and
I've thought
yeah.
about it because when I go out and about, I have a little tripod. I've got, my Bluetooth shutter release, that kind of thing. So, which is actually kind of part of the fun, because I'll be in the mall, I'll set the tripod up and, I'll start doing selfies in front of, whatever.
Right.
And it's actually kind of funny as,
It's awesome.
most people like are very polite and kind of walk around, make sure they don't get in the picture and that.
Right.
Some people don't bother. And those make the coolest, funnest pictures. I don't think I sent you one though. And so I have thought about, well, how cool would it be if I had a separate camera guy, a separate,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
could just let me loose. I wouldn't have to be tied to the tech.
Yeah, you know what? We'll talk later. We'll talk later about it because I could definitely see developing a concept with you where you staying true to what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's just kind of
I'd love to do an out and
yeah,
about with Doc
yeah,
Bubbles kind of thing. I think it
yeah.
would be a lot of fun because, again, a lot of the interactions and every now and then, again, one of my favorite ones. I already mentioned this one. The guy that said it ain't Halloween yet. He's not the only one that ever said that to me.
Sure,
You know,
yeah.
he and I became friends. I mean,
That's
Oh,
great.
acquaintances, but friendly. Another incident that happened in the Trenton train station, which is not quite as friendly a place, where a guy that was pretty scary looking came by me and he said the same thing. And he looked at me and I looked at him and, you know, I responded the way I respond with a big smile. And for about 2 seconds, he looked at me like he was going to blow my head off.
well,
And then a big smile broke out. He started laughing. He said, you know, I don't even know what he said, but
Mhm.
he was amused and he walked away.
Right, right, right,
So I was ready. I carry mace. I carry a stun gun.
right,
I can take care of myself, and I was getting ready. I thought I was going to have to, but no.
right, 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 right,
Fuck this guy. Despite what he looked like, you know, uh, apparently this one had a heart.
right, right. Yeah, and and that's what's so great. I could see that you just really have a way of touching people, in a way, and I don't mean that in a sexual way, but you just
No, I don't take it that way.
yeah, you just you have a way of touching people's hearts and making them see something very spiritual. I think about like spiritually.
People
Oh,
ask me all the time, since you mentioned that, do you get
yeah,
hit on by gay guys? And yeah, sure.
yeah,
But
yeah,
my response is, oh, honey, thank you very much. I like girls, but let's be
yeah,
friends. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
100% of them go, oh, cool, okay. They just now I know.
Right, right. No, that's
It
great.
shouldn't be a deal. Shouldn't be a big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
People are not afraid of being hit on.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean,
Am I
I get
afraid
hit
of being
on all the
am I
time.
afraid of being raped in the back, in an alley? Sure, just like any other human would be. But I'll tell you what, somebody tries that, they better put their all into it, because I will let them put them on the ground. I actually told a young kid one time that was kind of being a snot nose and was approaching me a little quicker than I liked. I pointed my finger in his face and I said, "Don't fuck with an old guy in a skirt, kid." And he went, "Oh,
So great.
okay," and left.
That's so great. I love it. I love
I
it.
hope
So
that you didn't have to bleep that. I'm sorry.
no, no, no.
No, no, we don't censor anybody here.
Yeah, we don't believe anything. I love it. I'm going to let Courtney get to more of her questions, but
Oh,
I love the story when you told the kid when you grew up you'll be able to dress any way you want to as
oh,
well.
you
That
should
that's
see the kid's
beautiful.
face. His
Such a
eyes
great.
lit up. He thought that was going to be the coolest thing since he acted like I had just given the keys to a jet ski or something. I mean,
You
Oh,
did. You totally did.
and mom went from totally embarrassed and wanting to crawl into the woodwork to, smiling and thanking me. It's
oh.
like she was so afraid that I would be, and at that time there was a lot of stuff on the media about people being misgendered and having a temper tantrum over it.
Right. Right. Right.
Well,
Right.
that's just, that makes me really sad that they have that level of lack of self confidence.
Right.
I mean, you look like what you look like. If somebody mistakes you, correct them. Period.
Right. Take it lightly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, why not? I mean, it's human nature to want to cubbyhole people you see. It's a defense mechanism. As
Yeah.
a veterinarian, I can tell you that in a flock of prey birds, for example, if one of them accidentally is a whole different color than the rest of the flock, that draws predators. That's a red flag. And so the flock will get rid of them.
Wow.
It's a biologic defense mechanism
Right.
to
Right.
want to be aware of. As we go through life, your brain subconsciously or consciously is
Mhm.
constantly evaluating threat levels
Right.
and deciding how to respond to perceived threat levels.
Right.
you
Right.
know
Right.
I represent something that can stimulate a threat to some.
Right. Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
My approach is to erase the threat part,
Mhm.
which is easy to do actually with most people. Again, there
Right.
are a few that I'll never change their mind. I just
Right.
hope to change their kids' mind before
Right.
they're too far
Right.
gone.
Right. Cool. Awesome. What else you got, Courtney?
Okay. Would you ever want to be a model for like high fashion shows and magazines?
No,
No. Okay.
no, and it's really more a matter of how much time I have to commit to a certain thing. It's not that I wouldn't want to do it. Sure, I'd love to strut down the runway. Are you kidding me? But it's like, you know, to me, the world is my runway. I strut every single day. I model every single day.
Right.
I
Right.
model for the camera and post the pictures.
Right.
So I basically am. Would I want to be in Vogue? Nah, probably not. Do I, aspire to elicit the kind of reaction that those models get? Sure, but it's not so much a matter of wanting or not wanting to participate. It's a matter of realistically, what have I got time in my life for?
Right, right. And I think your message is just so different than those
Yeah.
platforms too. You
Well,
know.
I've always been a DIYer, you know.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
you know, so I am a model. I am a photographer. I'm a DIY model and photographer and designer for that matter.
Right.
So
Yep, yep.
I'm happy with that. So you know,
Yeah, yeah.
I
You're
need to be.
you're an artist. Yeah, you're the true artist in every sense of the word.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What do your friends and family think of your lifestyle?
Well, I only have one member of my family left, my sister, my younger sister. I speak to her a couple times a year. She's a wonderful, you know, woman, and you know, I've got some I've got a great grandniece and a great grandnephew that I've never met. Um, you know, and so I mean, on the surface, you know, it's a cordial relationship, but
Mhm.
the entire rest of my family is gone. Now, my friends wouldn't be my friends if they didn't accept me.
Good
So
answer.
we're already starting, you know, I don't have a lot of close personal friends that I interact with face to face. I have a ton of friends on social media, and I
Mhm.
have a lot of grateful clients. I helped thousands of people in 30 years with their animals, and many
Mhm.
of them, like I said before, are kind of coming out of the woodwork, wanting to interact on a personal level.
Right.
One couple took me to several concerts, you know, treated me to several concerts that, you
Cool.
know, and I get to go out to dinner. Went to an Italian family's, you know, dinner one one night. Lasted
Mhm.
about 6 hours, of course, and you know,
Wow.
and I wouldn't be there if they didn't not only accept me, but um, you know, like me.
Yeah. Yeah. Good energy exchange. You were there for the
You know,
moment and
so
experiencing
yeah,
that.
you know, I appreciate being appreciated. Of course, I'm human.
Yeah.
I
That's
love,
great.
you know, positive feedback because that's what drives me. That's what fuels and motivates me in what I consider my mission,
Yeah.
which basically is, like my granddaddy said, as long as nobody gets hurt. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I want to leave some kind of legacy. You know, I love watching Ozzy and his son do their world tour trip. You know, and they went to a place once where all this music is stored in some kind of sealed cave or something, and there was Ozzy's original tapes and stuff like that. He's got that. Okay, I
Right.
don't have any famous art that's going to be hanging on a wall for 100
Right.
years.
Right.
100
Right.
years
Right.
from now, who's going to know anything about, you know, Michael Doolen, Doc Bubbles? You know, who's going to care?
Right.
I want to leave something. And,
Right.
you know, I like to write. I think I'm pretty good at it. I'm told I am. So I want to leave my autobiography. That's kind of going to be my legacy, you
So
know.
it's
And
yeah. It sounds like you're well on your way. Yeah. It sounds like
that
you're
will,
well
yeah.
on your way. Yeah.
I will never be a professional musician. I mean, I'm really good on harmonica. What I just did was like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't play the guitar very well. So, you know, I had aspirations of getting into music professionally, but not, you know, it's just something for my soul, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, again, it's really more a matter of, I guess, um, time management, you know. I mean,
Right.
I am 69 years old. I'm not going to last forever. My granddaddy went to 93. He and I were running fence on horseback one afternoon, uh, repairing broken down fence that a herd of antelope had broken down. And all of a sudden, this, you know, big, always healthy, always energetic guy started complaining about his stomach. He was dead a week later from pancreatic cancer.
Wow. Crazy. That's a
Yeah.
crazy
So,
experience.
you know, I hope to make it to, you know, 90 something, but
Right.
you know, who knows? I might not.
Wow.
But so that just makes it that much more important to me.
Yeah.
Try to, you
Live
know,
every
live if
day to the
I can.
fullest. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's taken a while for me to accept that I have something to offer.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
has, you know.
Yeah.
And again, I try
Well,
not.
you
I don't
do it.
feel arrogant. I don't feel superior to anybody, but you know, I do. I have come to believe, mostly from feedback,
Yeah.
that I do have something valuable to offer to people, and
A
I
million
want
percent.
to do
Yeah.
as much of that as I possibly can, and I want to
Yeah.
leave something along those lines that people can see 100 years from now.
Awesome. Well, I hope we've helped you by bringing you here, and we really appreciate you
Oh,
bringing
golly,
it here. Yeah,
this is a life-changing experience. I
awesome.
mean, absolutely. I can't tell you how wonderful I feel about having this opportunity, to
Oh,
just
that's great.
express myself and, tell my story, because
That's
that's,
awesome.
and so thank you, so very much.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm gonna
You're
follow you on
welcome,
social
and
media.
and thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure. I didn't mean to cut off questions. I'm here if have any
Yeah,
other
yeah.
things that you want to talk
Now,
about.
we're good. We only have one question left,
Okay.
and this is the question that I save for everybody on the show.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time to your kid self, what would you tell them and why?
At what age would I be going back to?
Hmm.
You decide.
You choose the age.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, can I say more than one thing to my young self?
Yes. Yes, you
Absolutely.
can.
Okay. Yeah. Listen to your granddaddy. Listen to your mom, and bet everything on Secretariat.
All right, that's legal. That's fair. You probably wouldn't understand what you're talking about as a kid, but then
Oh
one
yeah,
day,
I grew up on a horse ranch. Oh yeah. Oh, you know I would know. Absolutely.
yeah, okay, good. Awesome.
Secretariat was one of the best horses ever lived, and even a $10 bet at that time would have made me pretty healthy.
Yeah, yeah. I remember the story. I remember it well. Awesome, awesome. Well, I think we're just about ready to wrap up. You've been amazing, and I definitely would love to talk to you more in the future. And like I said, if you feel like you got some time and you want to develop some content or anything, let's hook up. For sure.
I mean,
Well,
Michael is the guy. He helped me with the show.
Yeah,
Wrong
we
way.
create.
There we
I,
go.
I can't tell you how much that means to me. I really do appreciate that, and look out. I'll probably take you up on it.
Awesome, awesome, really good. So, who do we got next week, Courtney? Who's
Next
coming up?
week, we have one of my friends that I discovered through a documentary, a ballcraft documentary about her fashion style and her makeup. Her name is Jessica Soares.
Awesome, very cool. I'm looking forward to doing some research and finding out all about her. I want to thank Doc Bubbles, Michael Doolen for being here. Check him out on social media. You know what? We didn't put your social media handle up here.
Ah, we need that.
What is your
On
social
Facebook,
media?
it's simply Michael Doolen, Doolen. On Instagram, which is basically a mirror of Facebook, it's BirdVet42. On
Okay,
TikTok, it is girl.crazy.42.
nice. Okay,
Okay.
well, everybody, Michael Doolan, amazing, amazing guy. We'll have to have you back when you're ready to put your book out and have you promote it and tell us some more stories
I would
from.
love that. I would
Yeah,
absolutely adore that.
awesome, awesome. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap up this show by saying be good to everybody. I love the guests because I feel like we don't even have to uh what's the word I'm looking for? We don't have to clarify the message. I think the message of the conversation speaks for itself. What we're trying to say and do here. Hopefully it resonates with people out there. And Courtney, you have any words of wisdom before I run us out?
Embrace yourself. Let your creativity absorb within your body and your imagination. And
Love.
plus, hug somebody.
I love it. Hug somebody. Michael's hugging himself. I'm going to give myself a hug. Awesome. Everybody.
Michael,
Love
I'll give
somebody.
you both your
Oh,
hug.
he's
There
hugging
you
his head.
go. Both your
Thank
hugs.
you. Awesome. All right, guys. Have a great night. We will see you next week. And we love you all. Adios.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.